So hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel QA Explainer. So on this video guys, I'll try to explain you the shift left testing. So in this video, I gonna tell you how that software quality will be speed up via shift left testing and what is the concept of this shift left testing. Because in 1981 Dr. Barry empathized this software testing technique what is very efficient technique if you are trying to detect that defect earlier in software SDLC software development life cycle. And in IBM they one study they have done, and that found that $1 investment is needed for pre-design defect prevention that can save up to $100 downstream. So it is a very high economical benefit for addressing the software quality and addressing the software reliability earlier. So let's discuss this testing technique, shift left testing technique. So what is the shift left testing technique? So first thing is it is a early testing integration a thing. So this testing actually performing that testing process earlier in SDLC life cycle SDLC process. So moving towards the designing and coding phases. So from here the testing lifecycle actually started, and it is mostly a developer lead testing. So mainly developers are taking responsibility for this technique, like they are actually applying the different kind of procedure like unit testing, pair programming. So this kind of procedure they are applying for reducing that defect and to improve that their coding. So for example of early testing or the shift left testing is like unit testing, static code analysis, collaborative for different kind of programming practices. And we can say for coding related defect reducing technique use they are applying. So that is the example of this early testing or shift left testing. Now, why the shift testing is a good thing? What is the key benefit for that? So, first thing is cost reduction. As defects are get caught earlier, so that's why it is a significantly cheaper cost if the defect will appear in production. So that's why this cost reduction is a most important part of it. Second is faster feedback, as here lots of different teams are doing that, like developer, tester, BA, business analyst. So that's why here it is a faster feedback. So that faster feedback immediately helps developer for addressing issue quickly. So it is improving the agility of the whole platform thing. Then the collaboration, as it is do it that multiple collaborate between the different kind of teams like developer, tester, the business analyst. So it is like a, so that whole the tester foster actually share the responsibility for the quality. Next is that accelerate delivery, as the testing is happening in very short period of time and in earlier. So that's why it is a time to market is very fast, and the code quality also is very better. So a Capgemini study that C-flip testing is a very good testing that reduce the defect resolution cost up to 60% on average. So that is a very huge criteria if you are going through that different kind of software testing technique and software quality techniques. Now traditional testing versus C-flip testing. What is the difference between that traditional testing and C-flip testing? Uh, First thing is feature timing. So in traditional testing, it is happen the testing happens in late in SDLC process, but in CPLAB testing it is happening earlier. Another is mostly traditional testing. The responsibility happens in primary testers, but CPLAB it is happened in developer and tester both. Mostly focus areas are traditional testing is finding the defect, but in C-flip testing that focus area is totally opposite. It is like a preventing the defect, not finding the defect. Now traditional testing, like we got to know about different testing technique used. So here the feedback is very delayed, but in C testing it is very immediate, because here we are using body testing, pair programming technique used, so this kind of thing. Defect cost on traditional testing, it is quite high, because it goes through that multiple stages, multiple defect tracking life cycle. But in C testing it is very low. Now, simple testing technique use for developer. How the developer can implement that testing technique use. So first thing is unit testing. As test individual component is using different kind of frameworks like JUnit, PyTest, Jest framework, TestNG. So that's why the aim is 80 to 90% code coverage they can do throughout that unit testing technique use. So mostly that 80 to 90% code is like, moreover that reliable code is a better code, is a better visibility, better like structural code. But another thing is that static code analysis. So here we are using different kind of quality centric tool, code quality centric tool like sonar cube, coverity, code. So these kind of tools we are using, so it actually helps to identify that code related bug, and it like that bug can reduce the later bug by 20%. Then pair programming. Sometimes two developers, sometimes that developers along with that testers, they are collaborating for the code in real time. So that's the reducing the defect by 15%, and it is improving the knowledge sharing between that two different pupils, like two different developers and testers. So that's why it is a very nice technique. So these three techniques are mostly applied technique use in C lab testing. Now let talk about the C testing technique used for tester, for a tester point of view. First thing is BDD thing, like behavior driven development. So here the test should be written in plain language, so we can use different kind of tools like Cucumber, Spacflow, so that so the tester and business analyst or stakeholder, they can align together, they can understand the things, because it is a plain English language. So like everybody can know everything, and they can suggest some kind of changes if they needed. Another is we are mostly using TDD framework, like test driven development framework. So here writing the test cases, test script before the code, following the red or green factor cycle. So red and green factor cycle is nothing but like here, like our code structure, that our framework should be like proper. I'll definitely create a video for TDD framework. I'll show you that how the TDD framework will work in my further videos in my channel. So here mostly that is ensuring that quality standard from starting itself. Now early performance testing. So we can use that early performance testing, so we can reduce the bottleneck. So we can use that different kind of tools like JMeter, Gatling, like K6. So that is like preventing the surprises if any kind of issues coming in later in deployment process. Now, how can implement the shift left testing? So that I will tell you the step by step guide. First thing is like access current process. So we need to identify the bottleneck. We need to improve that areas where, and so it will help us to prepare the adaptation. So for the current process, then we need to train the developers. So as the developer is doing only code, so they doesn't know about that any kind of process in testing, or any kind of things for like a you can say cycling process. So that's why we need to provide the education on testing methodologies or tooling for a smoother implementation, so developer can implement their code in smoother way. Now introduce the new tools, that is the nice thing actually. So for that, deploying the static analysis tool or unit testing framework, so that is aligned with the different kind of team workflows. So we can introduce a new tools here. Now another is foster collaboration. So foster collaboration in the sense of we need to go through that ongoing communication between the tester and developer, so they can sit together, they can share their responsibilities. So it will helps to team. Now, measuring the process, that is a very important thing here, because we need to track the defect rates, we need to track the test coverage, we need to track that delivery speed. So it will help us to evaluate that success for that whole testing thing. So that is called shiplap testing technique. So these five things I had got from that internet. These all are actually a step-by-step guide for shiplap testing technique. Now, let me telling some kind of challenges, or if it is for applying this, overcoming the challenges in shift left testing. So first thing is uh, resistance to change. Sometimes the developer, they are so much overloaded with their current work for writing the code, for creating the features, like creating the APIs. So they are mostly hesitated to adapt the new practice or solution for effective training and clear communication for benefit. But these challenges, it will be overcome for like upcoming like days or month. So we need to figure it out how come we can do it. Another is lack of skill. Sometimes developer doesn't know about any kind of testing related thing, they doesn't know about any kind of testing expertise, mentorship or skill building programs. So that we need to like for a tester point of view, we have to provide those kind of like expertise or mentorship for the developer. Then tool integration and complexity. Sometimes the new tools are coming, that new tools have like different kind of workflows, so that sometimes doesn't fit that the traditional workflows. And so that's why we need to integrate a proper tool, and we need to go with that proper tool, so it will helps to collaborate between that like old tool and new tool. So it will so that thing we need to find out. And that is mentoring the test environment. As like slowly that testing cycle grows, we need to maintain the separate test environment. So for automation, we need to maintain the separate test environment. For manual, we need to maintain the separate test environment. For performance testing, we need that separate test environment. If we are not doing so, if we are accumulating all those things together, then it will be very much hectic process for getting the testing thing properly. So all things will be cuddling, and it will be very difficult to do the testing. That's why we need to maintain the different test environment. That is another kind of challenges here. Now, conclusion for this video, guys. So first thing is cplap testing, it actually a very means like revolutionary technique that helps that software development cycle easier, and we can detect that testing, we can detect the defects in earlier stages in process. So it helps to enabling faster and high quality release. And also it empowers developers and tester to collaborate each other, and do like collaborate closely, share their quality ownership, and that reduce that cost of defect, because the defect has been caught earlier. Now, this technique, actually adapting this technique strategies, helps their organization to unlock a new efficiency, cost saving, and accelerate their time to market. So that's why the ship-left journey today is a very important thing, and it is a very much a new technique that came to picture. So I hope this video actually like gives you some kind of understanding regarding the shift-left testing technique, because I have seen that this shift-left testing is a kind of new thing that came in market. But that like concept has been there from 1981. So but it is but recently that it is quite popular in market. So it is nothing but a kind of early testing technique, and here like all responsibility are there for developer and tester, along with that their business analyst. So means like everybody in this organization, everybody in the organizations are responsible for testing and quality release. So that's why this technique is a very good and nice technique. So if this video is gives you some kind of like information, please subscribe my channel, help me to grow on YouTube, so I can also contribute so much my knowledge, testing related knowledge in the YouTube. So I hope this video is helpful for you. Thank you, thanks for your valuable time for watching this video, and thank you, bye bye.